Expand your knowledge by always expanding your community. Good afternoon, Reverend Father Dr. John P.J., our esteemed guest, Professor A.K. Bakshi, Professor K.V. Bhanumurthy, Dr. Jaswinder Singh, and Mrs. Vimal Rao, our faculty members, and all the people present over here. With this note, I would like to take an opportunity to welcome Reverend Father Dr. John P.J. to address the gathering over here.
I'll have to speak from behind. Good afternoon to all the guests here. Man is not a guest but a part of our family here.
Playing a dual role.
Yes. She is also a member of our governing body. You know, I'm also new to this program, and I wish I could have been a part of this training. May not be so much to make new contents, but to get on to the trends of higher education. And I think it is a very hearty welcome step from the part of higher education to have introduced so many courses online, which would, I am very sure, be the trend of education in the coming days. All the very best, and once again we are glad that great people are with us, right from Vice Chancellor down, and sir, we are honored, privileged. Welcome and thank you.
Every accomplishment begins with a decision to try. It is our immense privilege to have amongst us such an eminent guest who empowered us with the knowledge of tools of digital learning. With this, it is my pleasure to invite Professor Dr. Jaswinder Singh, Principal SDTP Khalsa College, who is also a member of various committees of Delhi University, UGC and Government of Delhi with higher education and senior secondary education, to express few words. Can we have you, sir?
Professor Bakshi, Vice Chancellor PDM University, Haryana, Dr. John P.J., my colleagues in the University of Delhi, Professor Bhanumurthy, Dr. Vimal, and all the delegates and participants who have participated in this workshop. Let me wish you a very good evening and a good time ahead. First of all, let me express my gratitude to the college for arranging this workshop under this program of Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching, which is a very privileged star scheme of the Government of India, and the Ministry of HRD is the coordinating agency. I'm sure our mission, our attempt is to share the knowledge and share in an effective way. There are various ways through which we share the knowledge. We write the articles, we write the books, we exchange our notes through emails or other things. But this is something which is unique, that it will improve our professional interaction also. Much more meaningful interaction in terms of this. And I'm sure the Vice Chancellor, Professor M.D. Tiwari ji, would also help us in this. Thank you very much.
Now I would like to invite Professor Dr. A.K. Bakshi to express few words on this two-day workshop.
I would like to express my gratitude to the principal of the college, Dr. John, and other colleagues for arranging this workshop at a relatively short notice, and it has really been a great success. I must say, Father John, that you and your colleagues have been a tremendous host. We really enjoyed your hospitality, and we will cherish it for a long time to come. This workshop had a few objectives. first and the foremost objective was to give you a feeling as to how the education scenario in the country is changing. You all must know what is happening on the educational front. And you must have seen now that whatsoever is happening, this is happening only because of technology. Everything you learned, that is because of technology. So that is one thing which we really wanted you to know. We told you what is e-learning, we told you what are MOOCs and how MOOCs are going to change the face of higher education in the coming years. Because these days, so many times in newspapers or on other platforms, you often hear of these terms. And sometimes, people are not aware of what actually these terms mean and how these things can ultimately bring about a change. So that was the first objective. Second was, you also learned how this e-learning and MOOCs are developed. And you noticed that all these can be a success only, and that is determined by the competence of the subject matter expert. Expert plays the most important role. That also shows that in whatsoever discipline you are, commerce, management, or economics, or sciences, anywhere, try to be the best in that. It's not that you become expert only with age. Many people are very, very bright at a very young age. See, many of the Nobel laureates have won Nobel Prize at the age of 30. So it's not that with age only you will become. That is very, very important. You must realize that if you have to be successful in this digital education initiative, subject expertise is very, very important. And that you have to make efforts. And that efforts you can make by thinking on the subject and reading and doing, and then you always have an opportunity to convey what you have learned to your students, and that will give you the confidence. And that is, we all rose like that. All of us starting from a very small college in Delhi University. I became lecturer when I was just 21. And you can very well imagine that at that age, many students were of our age group. But then slowly with our efforts, we came up. So that is one thing which you must realize, that you are the subject matter expert first. And you should try to become the best in your field, as far as the subject goes. Second thing which is important is that you should be technologically very thorough. So my best wishes to you, and all, especially to all of you, congratulations also, because you will be getting the certificate of participation, and it has been indeed a great pleasure. And once again, thanks, Principal Saab, for your warm hospitality, and my best wishes to you for your future. Thank you very much.
Request the Reverend Father Dr. Sean TJ to give the mementos to our esteemed guests as a token of gratitude.